The dragon type contains most of the legendary and powerful Pokemon, but is only good against other dragon types. It desperately needs the help of other types to increase its number of possible targets. So here we go, calculating the best dragon type combination. To calculate the greatest type combination for this video, I will be using this formula. Hopefully I can simplify it and explain this quickly. So basically a type combination will gain 2 points for each type it is super effective against, and a bonus 1 point if both of its affiliated types are super effective against the same type. It will lose 2 points for each weaknesses, an additional loss of 3 points if it has a double weakness. It will gain half a point for each resistance, another half point for every double resistance, lose 2 points if both types are resisted by the same type, gain 2 for each immunity, and lose 2 for each liability, which are types that are immune against it. Hopefully you understood that. If there is a tiebreaker, I will just choose. And since we are dealing with the dragon type, I will only talk about the combination's liability to fairy if it involves more than just a fairy type, since all dragon type has this characteristic. In 17th, in the worst dragon type combination is dragon and psychic. This combination is super effective against 3 types with 6 resistances. It also has 6 weaknesses, and both dragon and psychic are resisted by steel. Plus it's a liability to dark and fairy. Final score, -9. In 16th is dragon and normal. This combination is super effective against only dragon, but has 4 resistances. It also has 4 weaknesses, and both normal and dragon are resisted by steel. Plus it's a liability against fairy and ghost. Final score, -8. In 15th is dragon and grass. This combination is super effective against 4 types with 4 resistances, including 3 double resistance to water, grass, and electric. It also has 6 weaknesses, including a double weakness to ice, and both dragon and grass are resisted by steel. Final score, -7.5. In 14th is dragon and dark. This combination is super effective against 3 types with 6 resistances. It also has 5 weaknesses, including a double weakness to fairy and the immunity to psychic. Final score, -4. In 13th is dragon and ice. This combination is super effective against 4 types, with both dragon and ice being super effective against dragon. It also has 3 resistances and 5 weaknesses, but both dragon and ice are resisted by steel. Final score, -3.5. In 12th is dragon and bug. This combination doesn't exist. If it did, it would be super effective against 4 types with 5 resistances, including double resistance to grass. It also has 5 weaknesses, and both dragon and bug are resisted by steel. Final score, -3. In 11th is dragon and rock. This combination is super effective against 5 types with 5 resistances, including a double resistance to fire. It also has 6 weaknesses, and both dragon and rock are resisted by steel. Final score, -3. In 10th is dragon and electric. This combination is super effective against 3 types with 6 resistances, including a double resistance to electric. It also has 4 weaknesses and is a liability to ground and fairy. Final score, -2.5. In 9th is dragon and poison. This combination is super effective against 3 types with 7 resistances, including a double resistance to grass. It also has 4 weaknesses and is a liability against fairy and steel. Final score, -2. In 8th is dragon and flying. This combination is super effective against 4 types with 5 resistances, including a double resistance to grass. It also has 4 weaknesses, including a double weakness to ice, and both dragon and flying are resisted by steel, but it does have the immunity to ground. Final score, -2. In 7th is dragon and fighting. This combination is super effective against 6 types with 7 resistances. It also has 5 weaknesses, including a double weakness to fairy, and has a liability to ghost and fairy. Final score, -1.5. In 6th is dragon and ghost. This combination is super effective against 3 types with 6 resistances. It also has 5 weaknesses and is a liability to normal and fairy, but does have the immunity to normal and fighting. Final score, -1. In 5th is dragon and fairy. This combination is super effective against 3 types, with both dragon and fairy being super effective against dragon. It would have 7 resistances and 4 weaknesses, plus the immunity to dragon. But however, both dragon and fairy are resisted by steel. Final score, 0.5. In 4th is dragon and ground. This combination is super effective against 6 types with 3 resistances. It also has 3 weaknesses, including a double weakness to ice, and is a liability to fairy and flying, but does have the immunity to electric. Final score, 2.5. In 3rd is dragon and water. This combination is super effective against 4 types with 3 resistances, including a double resistance to both fire and water. It also has 2 weaknesses and a final score of 4.5. In 2nd is dragon and fire. This combination is super effective against 5 types with 5 resistances, including a double resistance to grass and fire. It also has 3 weaknesses and a final score of 5.5. In first place, and the best dragon type combination is dragon and steel. This combination is super effective against 4 types with 9 resistances, including a double resistance to grass. It only has 2 weaknesses and the immunity to poison. However, both dragon and steel are resisted by steel. Final score, 7. Yeah, that's my calculation of the dragon types. Since the dragon type is pretty good defensively, as it can resist 2 out of the 3 most common types, it just needs to be paired up with a type that boosts its offense, as well as allowing it to hit fairy. And that's the end of the video. That's about it.